Alright guys, what in the hell is this? I was poking around the internet the other day to see if I could find any new Dark Ages updates, and when I eventually arrived at their online store, I found this tarot card shirt design. This video is not sponsored by them at all, by the way. I'm not trying to get you guys to buy anything or buy this shirt in particular. I just happened to find this. When I first found this shirt design, it made me think of so many potential ideas and implications for the storyline. Like, maybe we'll get to fight witches and wizards. Maybe, the local superstitions of the Middle Ages might be incorporated into Argent culture, since we get to experience that firsthand for the first time in the series. Or maybe the introduction of Argent energy into the people of Argent and Nurse society could be presented in a divination and otherworldly spiritual sense. But this whole train of thought quickly got derailed when I found out that they also sold a tarot card shirt for Eternal back in the day. So the artist just had a really dope design idea that they iterated on it again for the Dark Ages. But that doesn't explain what this is. The shoulder mount on the Eternal shirt obviously is our grenade launcher, which is shown and featured right off the bat on Doomguy's armor in the first trailer for Eternal. But in the Dark Ages trailer, nothing. Blank. Not a thing there. The description for the shirt says, "Is this just a portrait of a ruthless beast, or a dark portent for the hordes of hell?" With portent meaning an indication of something important or calamitous about to occur, an omen, prophetic or threatening significance, something amazing or marvelous, a prodigy. Which is quite a fitting description for the Slayer that we have. The last bit at the end calls out his shield saw and flail that he's holding, but doesn't mention this additional equipment on his shoulder. As for what else we can glean from the overall design, the artists look like they used the exact same clouds and beams of light and font from the Eternal version, while the Dark Ages Slayer is surrounded by flames instead of mountains and proudly stands on 3 skulls instead of just 1. The overall vibe is also a lot more somber and guarded than the Eternal version, where the Eternal Slayer is defiantly looking towards the sky. And this definitely fits the solemn vibe the devs are going for in this game. That all doesn't really tell us anything, so with nothing else to get from the t-shirt, it's time to come up with some theories. First off, I don't think this is going to be an early version of the grenade launcher because the 2016 Praetor suit didn't have one, and the weapons that we're looking at here for Doom the Dark Ages are just a little too unique and medieval for that. So my first real idea is it might be a gun holster, where he straps a shotgun or another weapon he has equipped to his back while using his melee weapon, which would be a really fun visual detail for realism, but it doesn't really make a lot of sense since even back in Doom 93, we have quite the roster of weapons to switch between. Unless the devs only want us to have one weapon at a time and limited to no weapon switching, but I highly doubt it. What it might be instead is a brand new weapon that hasn't officially been introduced yet, but snuck in here on the t-shirt art. We can see throughout old codex depictions of this time period in the game that soldiers had broadswords, dual swords, spears, bows and arrows, axes, double-sided Darth Maul-looking swords, crazy dual blade swords, just a whole menagerie of weapons all the way down to even our new flail. Yep, right there, that's the flail we get in the new game. So it could be one of these, or it could be something completely different that we haven't seen yet, like the Skull Crusher. If we look at the general arrangement of the pixels, it appears we might have a weapon barrel with an ammunition belt. So, tiny submachine gun? Not very medieval, but it would match the shoulder-mounted gun on our Atlan that we get to pilot at some point in the game, so this is definitely an option. Alternatively, if we rearrange the pixels, it could be a quiver holding some arrows with a potential bow on his back. But I think this would be the weakest possible option considering everything else we've already seen for our arsenal. A regular bow and arrow I don't think would suit the Great Slayer. And my final idea, this could be a giant battle axe like the Marauder carries in Eternal, with these being the blades and the gun barrel actually being the head of the axe, just with a more sentinel-like design rather than the Hell variety with the skull on top. And that's it, that's all my brain had. If any of y'all have even the slightest clue what the Ancient Slayer's shoulder equipment here might be, let me know in the comments below, and I will be back with more Dark Ages stuff as soon as I find some. Bye!